Hey, what's the deal? This your boy Tag from Pro Wrestling Tag. You know what I mean? As of this recording right now, it is 3:33 p.m. October 2nd, 2025. But the upload time to this and the day is actually October 3rd. You know what I mean? 2025. And so, which is today, Friday. You know what I mean? But the upload day is Thursday. No, the recording day is Thursday. You know what I mean? I'm pissed off because I probably put this about 2 o'clock. Yeah, this is going to be uploaded at 2 o'clock. I'm pissed off because, in New York, anyone who has an Omni card, they won't be able to put bread in the card, or you won't be able to purchase a card. You know what I mean? And I need that fucking card too. You know what I mean? Because I got to go somewhere. I got to go to the fucking city. You know what I mean? Like, so they want people to put money in the fucking card on Friday, which is today. I'm like, man, fuck this bullshit. Fuck this bullshit. You know what I mean? It's bullshit. It's fucking bullshit, yo. And then they're talking about putting the fare $3, next year. Like, fuck that shit. I love New York, but goddamn, man. So usually, I wanted to talk about this, last Sunday. I wanted to talk about this last Sunday, but of course I couldn't because the suspension of of my channel and shit. But I figured, you know what? Let me make a quick vid on this because I like talking about stuff that I love speaking my mind when it comes down to pro wrestling. You know what I mean? In certain aspects and shit. You know what I mean? But I feel like with this one, I need to talk about this because, I was visiting Mama Tag. Shout out to Mama Tag. And this was Saturday. This past Saturday. Right? And so, we were watching, I visited her and everything. And, we was watching Vice. Right? But this is also before I tried to holler at this girl. Right? Funny story real quick. I went to the supermarket to go buy some food. You know what I mean? To spend time with Mama Tag. And there was this girl who looked like fucking Lola. I was gonna say Lola Vice. She looked like Lola Brooke. She looked like fucking Lola Brooke. You know what I mean? And I'm like, damn. Like, shorty is cute. You know what I mean? Like, I was gonna talk to him. I'm like, fuck. Like, it was crowded, everything. And she had disappeared. I'm like, damn. She gave me the eye, everything. Like, fuck. You know what I mean? But fuck it, I got plenty of chances, nigga. You know what I mean? But me and Mama Tag was watching we was watching Dark Side of the Ring, right? Like I said, Mama Tag, I got her into liking wrestling and shit, right? So we're watching Dark Side of the Ring. Great fucking series, by the way. Terrific fucking series. And the talk was about the original Sheik, right? And, there's a lot of stuff that I didn't know about the original Sheik. That I knew how with him, like, he kept his character, he was the true motherfucker who really kept kayfabe, alive. Like, he created this mystique. You know what I mean? His name is Ed Farrett, I think. His real name is Ed Farrett. And, he was, he decided to just still keep that gimmick, even like, in public. Like, I think they also had a part there where he had dinner and such, and, with the faces and heels. And I think when a fan comes, right, he put on the turban and become the original Sheik and such, right? But that's not what I really wanted to talk about. What I wanted to talk about is, what I want to talk about is, his offense. Because, you see, first and foremost, I hate hardcore wrestling. Hardcore wrestling is not my thing. You know what I mean? Like, okay, see, it's a difference between, kayfabe hardcore wrestling and actual hardcore wrestling. Kayfabe hardcore wrestling is basically what you see on WWE television and such, right? Where it's hardcore stuff, but they play it safe to the T, right? They use props and everything, right? The original Sheik, on the other hand, didn't do that. The original Sheik, you know, he started using fucking, knives and, and started jabbing motherfuckers, and they fucking forks. No, he used forks. He used forks. You know what I'm saying? Like he did a whole bunch of crazy shit, right? And he was the main person who invented this this super hardcore wrestling shit, right? It was him. You know what I mean? Like, anytime you see motherfuckers with scars in their fucking head, that shit look disgusting. Like, I've seen a couple people who's all scarred up on their fucking forehead. I'm like, damn, B. You know what I mean? Like, from fucking Abdullah the Butcher to fucking New Jack and such, right? And so, seeing that, and he also had, scars in the forehead. And I'm like, yo, he was the innovator of that. If you want to blame somebody for hardcore wrestling, like super hardcore wrestling, the original Sheik was the innovator of that. You know what I mean? He was the innovator of that shit. At first, I used to always think it was Abdul the Butcher, but no, it's this motherfucker. You know what I mean? I also got to be careful when I use the word Sheik. You know what I mean? Because the Sheik I know, it's two Sheiks I know. You know what I mean? The Iron Sheik. You know what I mean? And fuck a Hulk Hogan. Miss that dude. And Sheik Luch from the Locks. You know what I mean? Like, damn, the Locks in the early 2000s, in the 2000s period, you talk about a dangerous fucking rap group, boy. Oh, man. They back Jay-Z the fuck down, B. And they back State Property down. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Remember that freestyle that the Locks did with D Block dissing State Property? You know what I mean? When they used the MOP beat? You know what I mean? And then Styles P just comes out of nowhere, fuck Beanie Siegel. Like, god damn. Free, you a bitch too. You know what I'm saying? I remember that shit. If I can find it, I'll put it in the description. But the original Sheik was the main reason. He's the main reason why you got hardcore wrestling there. He's the main catalyst of this shit. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I see why his mystique is not really spoken on, right? I mean, he's also a great fucking trainer. He's a great trainer. You know what I mean? Like, people say, oh, well, Sabu was doing hardcore stuff. But the thing with Sabu could also wrestle. See, here's the difference. See, Sabu is smart. People like Sabu are smart where, all right, he'll use weaponry, right, depending on where he goes, right? If it's like Big Japan Pro Wrestling, yeah, he'll use weaponry and shit, right? But if it's like, a normal promotion like WCW, ECW, now, I mean, ECW was hardcore, but they weren't like batshit hardcore. They weren't like fucking Big Japan Pro Wrestling. The WWE. You know what I'm saying? Like he knew how to teach me how to Dougie. Teach me how to Dougie. Remember that shit? Teach me how to Dougie. I might put that shit in the description too, just to fuck with the AEW sickos. But he knew how to switch styles, right? He knew how to switch his style and shit. And of course RVD, right? Another person who the original Sheik trained, right? But the original Sheik is the main reason why, like I said, he's also the inventor of the fireball to the face. You know what I'm saying? Like, how you have wrestlers, especially heels, when they throw fireballs and shit right to the face. He was the inventor of that shit. The original Sheik, him. That motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna blame anybody for that, blame him. Because he started that shit. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm not a fan of hardcore wrestling. Never have, never will be. Because hardcore wrestling is not actual wrestling. Like, if you're gonna do a street fight, all right. If you're gonna do a street fight, yeah, you're gonna do hardcore wrestling. You know why? Because when you are fighting in the streets, yeah, you're gonna use everything. You're gonna use anything and everything to your advantage, right? As offense, right? So, like, if I see a baseball bat, I'm fighting a motherfucker in the street, I see a baseball bat. I'm taking that motherfucker. I'm fucking Pete Alonso in that motherfucker. Blah! You know what I mean? Speaking of Pete Alonso, I heard that he opted out of the Mets. I'm like, damn. You know what I mean? Like, fuck. I hope I'm a Yankees fan, man. I'm saying this. I hope you don't go to the Yankees. The Yankees got too many fucking people, man. You got Aaron Judge, you got Juan Soto. Like, slow your roll, man. Like, fuck out of here, man. But yeah, you know, if you're doing a street fight, right? If you are doing a street fight, more than likely, you know what I mean? Like, you're going to find something, you know, to whack a motherfucker with, right? So I would say that that's more acceptable, right? But you know, hardcore matches, quote unquote, like it depends on the company, right? WWE has their hardcore matches consist of more props than anything else. Why? Because they need to keep the wrestlers safe. You know what I'm saying? And again, hardcore wrestling is not, you know, it's not popping, B. It's not. You know what I'm saying? It's not wrestling. Like, that's pure fucking violence that makes no fucking sense on a grand scale. You know what I'm saying? Like, we see this with Combat Zone Wrestling. Well, not now. I mean, Combat Zone Wrestling still does it, but not as heavy. Not as heavy as you see fucking, like, Big Japan Pro Wrestling and such, right? But going back to then, I mean, you know, the original Sheik was the main, you know, he was the main catalyst for that shit. Anytime you think of super hardcore wrestling, right, it's that motherfucker. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And let me also say something about RVD. RVD proved he can wrestle. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't need the hardcore shit to get over, right? He proved it. I mean, he proved it by, you know, by wrestling his ass off and such. I mean, shit. Think about this. You think the WWF, or I'm sorry, the WWF would have brought the original Sheik? No, or fuck it. The NWA would have brought the original Sheik into, you know, to become NWA champion. Get the fuck out of here, boy. You serious? You know what I mean? Like, again, it don't work. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was the originator of that. Now, I mean, the original Sheik was, you know, he was that dude who actually started it. You know, and again, I always thought it was Abdul the Butcher, but it was actually this motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't know why people get a thrill of a hardcore wrestling. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. You know, when I think of pro wrestling, I think of, you know, actual holds and submissions and you know, an offense, like actual offense using your fucking hands and feet. You know what I mean? Not fucking, you know, not taking a torch and just lighting a motherfucker on fire. You know what I mean? Or taking one of those fucking weed whackers to the back. Like, I seen a hardcore match, a super hardcore match, and I'm like, yo, turn this shit off. Turn this fuck shit off. Like, I'm talking about a super hardcore match. You know what I mean? Like, you know, where you're using fucking barbed wire. You know what I mean? You barbed wire around the body and like elbowing motherfuckers. Doof! You know what I mean? With the barbed wire. Like, come on, man. That shit ain't wrestling, man. Come on, man. That shit is not pro wrestling, B. You know what I mean? So I blame the original Sheik for that. You know what I'm saying? Fuck him because he ruined pro wrestling. You know what I mean? He ruined pro wrestling. How the fuck do you go hardcore? Take a fucking fork to the knife. Like, come on, man. And then, like, remember Leatherface? You know, Leatherface, I think, wrestled in FMW. I'm going to put a description of him, too. You know what I mean? Like, taking the fucking chainsaw. Have motherfuckers run. Like, come on. I'm surprised they didn't get sued. I'm surprised motherfuckers didn't get sued for that shit. But anyway, guys, I'm about to be out. You know what I'm saying? I will be making another video later today. You know what I mean? Because I got a lot of shit to say, yo. A lot. Damn. Real quick, I'm seeing this commercial of what's this called? Ren, W-R-E-N. You know what I mean? And they got this, you know, this female redhead, a factory direct. I mean, Ren Factory Direct, like, she look good than a motherfucker. She has red hair and everything. I'm not into white women, but I got, like I said yesterday, I'm gonna say this again. You know what I mean? Like, you know, if you know, like, typical white women that I actually like is like what? Brunettes and redheads. You know what I mean? But I'm not into white women like that. I'm not. Anyway, guys, I'm about to be out. I'm going to definitely come with another video today. I'm going to check y'all. Peace.